Hello YouTube, it's Ryan coming at you again from my kitchen. Going to work a little bit later today, so I thought I'd make a quick video before I go in. Going to talk about a few things here today. Going to talk about numbers because I'm getting real close to goal, real close to the number goal that I've kind of set for myself recently. So, and that goal is 199. But I'm going to get to the numbers, and then I'm going to talk. It's really going to be an OH conference that we had in LA this weekend in review. So OH in review is what this is about, because really cool experience down there. Met a lot of cool people. So I'm going to get into that a little bit. So I'm going to talk about some of the guest speakers we saw. I'm going to talk about some details there, and then getting back to work here. That's been tough. So back to life, back to reality. If you know the song, there's a song that says that in it, and that's what comes in my head whenever I have to get back to reality like this. So numbers. Started my journey at the first day I met my surgeon at her office, November 18th, 2013. That's when I decided to change my life. I was 326 that day. 3 months later was my surgery date on February 24th, which is approximately 6 months from now. So this is a six-month surgiversary or anniversary also, a few days away from that. So, and it's also my 24-week post-op. So, but my surgery weight was 294. So I'd lost about 32 pounds prior to surgery on my own. Last week I weighed in at 209.8, and this week I'm 208.6, 208.6. So that is a 1.2 loss this week, which is cool considering everything that went down as far as vacationing, conferencing, whatever you want to call it. Not having your normal foods around and things like that. So still a good loss. Total loss since the start of my journey is 117 pounds, 0.4. And that's just crazy. I mean, I don't care who you are, that's crazy. Current, and then my since surgery is 85.4. So those are the numbers, and really amazing stuff. And speaking of traveling, a couple NSVs. One, this is the first time I've taken a trip anywhere overnight, and probably, I want to say since 08, so roughly 7 years without my CPAP machine. I use a BiPAP now, but CPAP or BiPAP, sleep apnea breathing machine at night. So this is the first time I haven't taken it, and it was cool. I don't use it anymore. It's been several months, and I'm pretty close to being all the way used to not using it anymore, and I'm sleeping pretty good. I plan on doing a sleep study test, but if I keep doing as well as I am, I might not do that. So. But that's a cool NSV. Another NSV is that I was able to take some foods with me. Fuck that NSV. Another NSV that's kind of neat that I mention right now is that met a lot of good people. We got into an elevator a couple of times, and the elevators, one was always broken down, so you had to use another one. So it was always a tight fit. So a lot of us weight loss surgery people, we got in this elevator, and we're all pretty much tight, like almost touching each other, crammed this elevator. And you look around, and I know for a fact, all of us, when we're at our heaviest, we could have never, half of us probably could have fit in that elevator. And maybe the weight limit would have even been a problem on the elevator. So, I mentioned out loud, this is an NSV that we all fit in the elevator. It was kind of a laugh, but it's true. That's one example of how this stuff has changed us a bit. So anyway, let me get into the people I met. So I met a ton of amazing people, some YouTube people, some not. And that was kind of a crazy thing too, because I thought more people that were in the weight loss community were on YouTube, or maybe they don't make videos, but they watch YouTube. But I would say out of the few hundred people that were there, maybe only like 30% really watch YouTube and follow YouTube, maybe less than that. It really was surprising, because for me, when I just started looking into my surgery and starting my journey, it really helped me to have YouTube as a place to go and as a place to learn, get information from. So I was really surprised that there wasn't that many. I mean, there were a couple of situations where, like VSG Tanya or Less of Sarah, I would have people come up and do the whole, oh my gosh, your journey has touched me so much, and and go into that. And it was kind of neat to see. And I guess when I first met everybody that I've been watching on YouTube, I initially was kind of overwhelmed with the feeling of, I can't believe this is the real character on YouTube that's a real person. But that quickly went away. I mean, within minutes, hours, just conversations I had with everybody, that quickly went away, and it just felt like normal people, like normal friends already. So, but yeah, it met some friends there that, potentially be lifelong friends, and had a great time with them. We did the conferences, we did hanging out at the pools, we did, hanging out later. So it was fun, getting to know people on a real level. So, yeah, it was neat. Another great thing that I experienced at my meetup with everybody was really getting a chance to talk about just our VSG journey and just the things we eat, the things we go through, life, relationships. I mean, it wasn't all we talked about for sure, but it definitely was there, and we could openly talk about it. And this is the first time for me that I really felt like I haven't been to support groups, and yeah, I'm in YouTube, but it's the first time for me that I've been able to relate to people that are people that I would hang out with, friends, even work people, people that you're around. This is the first time I've been around people that really understand what I'm going through, and I can't explain how huge that is to have people that I can go to a lunch. I went to a lunch, and we had it was a little taco place. If I knew the name of the place, I would tell you, but it was in Hermosa Beach, and it was kind of a late lunch, early dinner, but it was it had the homemade chicken. It was like Wabo Tacos or something. I think it's a bit of a chain, but it's small in Hermosa Beach. And anyway, I had the homemade set up on the board chicken tortilla soup. And this chicken tortilla soup was the best I ever had. I didn't eat that much of it, though. That's the funny thing. We had a glass of wine. I was there with 3 other individuals, and we were able to just eat. One person had a little taco, barely ate the tortilla. It was like a little small fish taco. One person had a salad. One person had a chicken quesadilla that barely ate one of the 4 pieces of chicken quesadilla. And we were able to just laugh over a glass of wine, talk about, and it's not a big deal. I don't have to explain, oh, well, I can only eat 6 bites of this soup, or I'm because of this, or if I drink some wine, then I can't eat that much. And that's why I had to make a choice of either wine, food, or more food. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to go through that. They just understand. And that's something that I can't even explain how nice that was for a change. And, I think we're all adjusting to life. I think, we're all getting close, at least me, I'm getting closer to where I could probably live in this life, in this world, go to lunch, go to do things, and people wouldn't really notice if I didn't tell them. I think I could do that, but it's, it's a challenge, and it's something that you don't really want to have to do. So it was just really cool. We went to a big dinner at PF Chang's with a big group of all our YouTube people, and all super awesome people. I would consider any of them a friend, and, would hope that, if they were in my area and they, needed help, or if they just want to hang out, they can hit me up, and I'd say, yeah, let's do that. So we went to this dinner, and we all ordered and just kind of shared. A lot of us did, and it was neat because, I ate a little bit and we took some home. That's what we do. And so it was just really neat to be able to have these conversations and feel like other people understand. And, back to real life and reality, it's not going to be like that. And that's an adjustment I have to make. And in a way, it's a learning experience. For example, if you look right here, over here in this video, you can see there's a crock pot. We've had 2 crock pot meals since I got back. I've only been back a couple of days for dinner. And one was a chicken tortilla soup, and one was like a fajita chicken thing. But this is something me and Kirk talked about. Kirk's all about, making different foods. He's got his routines, and we talked about food. And I was talking about how I'm trying to do more crock pot stuff at home with the fam. And so we've been doing that. And so that's a positive thing I took from it. So very neat. I was telling the story about, and I mentioned it on YouTube before early on, like maybe a few weeks after, but I had a dream a couple weeks after the surgery about how I dreamed I was a vampire. And it wasn't just I have weird dreams. I have a crazy imagination, and I have weird off the wall dreams, but this was kind of strange because I felt like it was like weight loss surgery related vampire. And I can't even explain it necessarily all the way, but I thought about it afterward throughout the day. And what I realized is that there's a correlation between a weight loss surgery person and a vampire in a way. And let me explain. A vampire is forever changed, right? They're forever changed, tainted, whatever. That's how I feel. That's how at the time I felt. Like I did this. The reality was setting in. I've changed myself forever. I can never go back to what I was. Like, I'm this way forever, the rest of my life, and I'll always be different than everybody else. I walk around here without surgery, and I'll always be out there walking around amongst people that are normal, appearing normal, seeming normal, but I have something different about me that has changed me and changed my life for the better. But anyway, so that is just kind of strange. And I mentioned that to a couple people while we're at the thing, and I don't know if it makes sense to anybody, but it makes perfect sense to me. And because we're just trying to be normal in this new kind of unnormal world in a way. But I on the flip side of that, I did talk to people that had a little bit different perspective on the journey, that were weight loss surgery people, that basically were more like, I don't want weight loss surgery to define who I am. I don't want that to be everything, throughout my daily life. And as I've gotten farther along, I felt a lot like that too. Some days I think like, ooh, I want to just get away from the videos for a while, maybe even get away from the weight loss surgery Facebook, because I have two, and kind of merge my real life with my weight loss life gradually as I go. And I keep being drawn to want to hold myself accountable and make videos and also help people. So those two things drive me. But it's different. It was nice to see a different perspective that, yeah, I do the events, I do weight loss surgery as a part of my life, but I want to focus gradually more and more on normal life and real life. And so there's kind of a balance there. That's an interesting thing to think about. A couple of speakers that we had at the conference that I thought were awesome. Les of Sarah is someone that I've gotten to know a little bit before through like a video chat and through her channel, YouTube channel. But meeting her and getting to know her, really down to earth person, and she had this presentation about what I took from it, and I don't have exactly what she talked about, but is your support group. Who do you have around you to support you? And this is pre-op, she went over post-op. But these supporting casts, whether it's support groups, whether it's YouTube, whether it's your family, whether it's all those, whether it's a little bit of all those, and she talked about those, and I think that was very helpful to a lot of people, and I definitely connected with that. Also, she talked about maintenance. She's running into a really maintenance phase of her life, and that's something I'm really curious about now because I'm about, I don't know, eight pounds away from my goal, so I'm real close to wanting to maintain. And what maintenance looks like for me is I want to keep a healthy weight around 199-ish. And really build muscle. I don't want to be a skinny person. I want to be a fit person, and that's what I want to do. So I want to try to tone up and build some muscle. Not real crazy, but just to try to be, like I said, be fit. And so that's my thing. Another cool, really great guest speaker was Graham Elliot. I didn't really know Graham Elliot. I watched Food Network and stuff like that, but he kind of looked familiar. But his story really sunk right to me. I mean, I sleep apnea, having kids, wanted to be a better father, want to be better at his career, and getting to a point where he had to do this, and some of the challenges he had in his life. I completely related to almost everything, and I felt like it was almost me up there talking, which was an unusual thing as I'm sitting there at a table watching with all these people. And but that was really neat. And he did a quote. I found a quote on this website I wanted to say that really meant something to me too. So Graham Elliot says, "It's hard to explain, but I literally feel like a different person, not just physically or emotionally. When I see pictures of my former self, it's as if it's another person, almost a character. Now I'm the real me, someone that gets to enjoy life to its fullest." So I agree with everything right there. I feel the same way. I had never really put it into those words, but I am getting closer to the real me. And there's challenges with that because I haven't always been heavy. There was a time in my life where I wasn't heavy and things were easier, but I worked hard at it. And then over the time, it got harder. And so now I'm in a time where I'm kind of rediscovering that and who I am and who I was when I was in shape before. I'm older now. I have different responsibilities, and so I can't just really be that person. So as I become the person that reminds me of someone I was before, I have to be a different version of that. And so I'm still kind of learning that as I go, and I'm not even close or anywhere near perfect at that. But hopefully along this journey, with open dialogue and with support and learning through mistakes, that I can I can keep growing as being that better person that I want to be, and be closer to what I talk about, authentic self, my authentic self, who that I really am, under the weight, under the fears, under all the negative things around it, who I really am. So that's what I'm always trying to find, and we'll keep striving towards it. So anyway, that's really all I got today. Want to do an update, talk a little bit about the weight loss surgery. I know I left some things out as far as the experience and the people, and I didn't single out every person's name that I talked to and met, but you guys know who you are, and I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate you sharing your stories with me and being so supportive and bringing me in. It was really one of the a really life-changing experience for me to meet all these people and to really realize that there's a community out there, there's people out there that are just like me, living life in a changed kind of environment for themselves but getting better every day, hopefully. So anyway, thanks again. You guys have a great Tuesday.